Extreme police violence continues to rise in France, with non-whites being victimized repeatedly. 2 deadly terror attacks and the Nice tragedy have created a prolonged period of war hysteria, epitomized by a national state of emergency now in its 11th consecutive month. The current police state dictatorship has produced thousands of arrests, countless thousands of instances of police brutality, and has also drastically increased French society's tolerance of open racism and violent xenophobia. Muslims and immigrants are increasingly holding protests and conferences to make everyone aware that intolerance will likely rise even further due to xenophobic scapegoating during France's just-begun presidential election campaign.
From now on, it is Muslims who will point the fingers. We accuse France's mainstream media and politicians of systematically promoting Islamophobia, violence and institutional racism. We have to sensitize the entire public to this fact, but we also need to alert those minority groups which are truly in danger.
The diversionary and racist tactics have already translated into fabricating Islamophobic debates about such non-issues as the burkini swimsuit. This week, presidential candidate Nicolas Sarkozy said he wants to ban the hijab from public streets. The recent death of a young black man while in police custody and subsequent charges of a cover-up shows the wide latitude police are being given to harass and brutalize.
For those in poor areas, there truly has always been a state of emergency. The difference is that these days it is affecting others, like union activists, social leaders and anti-government protesters. But daily police violence has gone on for years and is only getting worse.
Tolerance of xenophobia and state violence means that National Front leader Marine Le Pen is largely accurate when she claims her far-right party has already won the battle of ideas. That may run counter to France's image as a modern progressive nation, but many say that impression was always heavily airbrushed and is definitely behind the times. Ramin Mazaheri, Press TV, Paris.
20 Iraqi volunteers fighting against Daesh terrorists were killed and at least 5 others were injured in U.S. airstrikes south of Mosul. U.S. fighter jets targeted a building occupied by the pro-government tribal fighters in the district of Qayyara, 60 kilometers south of Mosul. The U.S. Defense Department has released a video of the airstrikes as part of a probe it has pledged to conduct into the offensive. However, Washington is yet to give an official statement about the incident.
Repeated mistakes by U.S. Air Force have been recorded, and we have warned and notified the Americans about these incidents, which they claim are accidents and due to technical malfunctions. But to be honest with you, we have concerns about this because these mistakes have happened on several occasions.
The American strike on pro-government forces in Qayyara is not the first. Last December, an airstrike carried out by the U.S. military killed over 20 Iraqi soldiers and injured 30 others near Fallujah in the western province of Anbar. Washington blamed the incident on bad weather. In January 2016, U.S. fighter jets targeted Iraq's popular mobilization units based near Speker Air Base in Salahuddin province as well.
These repeated mistakes have raised suspicions and fears among us. The victims who have been killed are Iraqi citizens and fighters. Such incidents are very alarming to us.
This is not the first time Iraqi forces are targeted by the US-led coalition against pro-government in an attempt to scare them off and exclude them from the battles. This also exposes Washington's incompetence. If they cannot tell who is friend and who is foe, how are we supposed to allow them to participate in our battles?
Iraqi forces are not the only forces which have been targeted by U.S. airstrikes. In mid-September of this year, U.S. airstrikes on the eastern Syrian province of Deir ez-Zor killed dozens of Syrian army soldiers and injured over 100 others, paving the way for the advance of Daesh terrorists into liberated regions. Observers believe Washington's repeated attacks on pro-government forces in both Iraq and Syria either expose the U.S.'s role in facilitating the advance of terrorists or its incompetence in fighting terrorism. With the battle for Mosul being right around the corner, many of the forces fighting here in Iraq have already raised serious concerns over Washington's so-called friendly fire. Ataf Ahmed, Press TV, Baghdad.
18 is just the latest in a growing number of arrests in connection to the clown frenzy that has gripped the country.
Eyewitness News reporter Steve Nielsen joins us in studio with more on how police are not taking these threats lightly. That's new at 5:30.
Yeah, it's been called a phenomenon, a national trend, whatever it is. Police and school leaders in our area are part of a growing voice saying this is not a joke and they're taking it seriously. The clown craze reaches New England. The national phenomenon of people reporting they're seeing creepy clowns in areas has hit Rhode Island and southeastern Massachusetts. Rehoboth police saying they arrested a 17-year-old student at Dighton-Rehoboth Regional High School. They told us the student made threats on Twitter that were serious. PD add the 17-year-old admitted it was a prank feeding off the clown frenzy. The school sent us a statement thanking police and hoping the arrest helps quell any angst kids may have about the reports recently. In fact, statements have come pouring in from across our area about the clown fears. Barrington schools saying they take this seriously and there's no immediate threat there. Add West Warwick PD to the list. They say they've gotten calls about allusions and innuendos, but no credible threat, and hope parents talk to their kids about social media use. URI spokesperson said a false text went around to students Monday night that a clown was on campus and to call police. Officials say if you see something suspicious, of course give them a call, but hoax calls and threats can land you in serious trouble, like 5 girls in Connecticut who were arrested for spreading clown threats. The problem is police officials have said a hoax threat can take them away from more serious issues and dilute their resources. Plus, it doesn't matter if it's a joke or a prank, you can still be charged like the 17-year-old in Rehoboth. I'm Steve Nielsen, Eyewitness News.
This is AP News Minute. Hurricane Matthew pounded Florida's coast with heavy rains and fierce winds overnight. It was downgraded to a Category 3 storm as it neared land early Friday morning. According to officials from Florida Power and Light, at least 95,000 homes and businesses had lost power as night fell. Earlier on Thursday, Haitian officials said at least 283 people had perished after Matthew slammed into the southern portion of the island. That death toll is expected to rise. U.S. and Mexican authorities say one of the FBI's top 10 most wanted fugitives was extradited from Mexico back to the U.S. Brenda Delgado is accused of arranging the contract killing of her ex-boyfriend's new girlfriend. A commuter train that crashed into a New Jersey station a week ago was removed Thursday. Investigators said the train was going twice the speed limit just before crashing on September 29th, killing a woman and injuring more than 100 people. Vanessa Alvarez, The Associated Press with AP News Minute.